Welcome to Deep Thought. Change your circle. And this is along the lines of people have heard my Changing the Water podcast. This is still along those lines because this is something I see a lot. And usually if I talk about something, that means someone in my circle, extended circle, somebody who knows somebody, friend of a friend, has gone through something. It gets back to me. And, sometimes I might do like a particular subject several times, but that's because somebody needed to hear it. Just because somebody heard one video I did on it 4 months ago doesn't mean that someone new hasn't come on here and needs to hear it right now. And I get that a lot. It's a lot of synchronicity when I do these videos. So someone probably needs to hear this, but you got to change your circle. I'm going to tell you what. And I've said this on my business channel. The author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, said, your salary is the average of the salaries of the 5 people closest to you, right? That's your circle, right? And that's important. That's very important to consider. We're talking about more than salary, but we're talking about your life and what you're doing in life, where you going in life, right? I'm going to tell you something there. I'm that type of person who have been in all circles, worked all over the place. And this is one thing I've noticed. This is one thing that I've peeped. My production and what I do is a lot better, like in all areas of life, whether it's dealing with interpersonal relationships, whether it's making money, whether it's just having overall happiness, is greatly influenced by who I'm around, whether it's on a job, socially, whatever. And I'm very funny about who I'm around, because the thing is, no matter how strong a person you are, you're going to take on the energy of the people you're around, especially if it's a group. Now, and then you can be the strong, powerful person, leader type, right? And you trying to raise people up to your level, but just really to deal with people, you like it or not, you got to come down a bit. You can force them up. You can try to force them to come up, but most people don't want to go up. They comfortable where they at. So sometimes just to even deal with them, you got to come down a bit, And I've noticed on different jobs, like if I'm around like go-getter types, people who had more ambition, whatever, I did better. Right? And it influenced me. It's like being on a sports team for those who played sports, right? Like you can get a player and they on one team and they're a bunch, they're chronically losing team and everything. And all of a sudden, no matter how much talent you got, you come down to their level. But then you get traded or you become a free agent, you go to a winning team, all of a sudden your game gets better. It's the same thing in life. Like if you're looking at your life, you don't like where you live, you don't like what you're doing for a living, you don't like your sex life, you don't like anything. Instead, it's like some people might just move. And that's important. Sometimes you gotta just move, change their total environment, but you gotta look at the people around you. And that's one thing I pay attention to. And I've told people I'm very funny who I keep in my circle. I'm very funny. People don't know. I don't talk to a lot of people on the phone. I don't talk to a lot of people or text a lot of people. There's some people, like if I could think of, honestly, there's one woman, I ain't gonna call her name, and me and her are just friends. We are just friends that, we communicate once a week, once every couple of weeks, something like that. And she has demonstrated success in her life. She has demonstrated success. Now, I like talking with her. And a couple other women like that too. Just on period, there's no sex trying to holler at them anything because they're successful, right? I like being around that type of person because then it raises my energy up. It shows me what's there. Like I know a couple, like a dude. I mean, and I mentioned this dude on my business channel. This dude has a base. He's a salesman, but he has a base salary like of 100,000 base, and he's a hustler. I mean, like master salesman, right? I notice when I'm around him, my view gets better. But then if I'm around if I'm around people whose view of life is just to make it to the next day, and I don't mean living in a moment thing, but it's like a everyday survival thing, and they ain't sure like how they gonna bring in money, I feel it, and I try to keep them out of my circle, or don't have any ambition, or being around what I call true dreamers. Now, a true dreamer to me is not somebody who dreams and takes action, but a true dreamer is that person who can tell you everything that they want to do, but they never take any steps towards it. I try to keep them out of my circle. I try to be encouraging to them if they're willing to grow, and I'll deal with them, but those are the type who will take action. But if sometimes I've noticed, and this especially when I would tell people about business and stuff, I would look at them, or they'll say, oh, you can't do that, or things of that nature, that it would actually bring my energy down. So like some people say they don't want to be the smartest person in the room. They want to be around people who can help them learn. You got to change that. And not just for business, life. If you don't like if you don't like the relationships you're in, that's a very good example. Or the pool of people you got to be around. You might have to change it. I know these people, you hung out with them at church, social club, gym, but you got to look at your life. It's like, how are these people going any place? All these people stuck doing whatever in their real area. They not rising to another level. All right? You got to change that. Like I said, I keep it. The people I prefer to be around in my circle are like world changer types. I mean, seriously, if y'all were privy to some of the conversations I have with my inner circle, y'all be like, damn, y'all some megalomaniacs. Shoot, you trying to conquer stuff. But that's who I want to be around. I want to be around people at a higher vibration, of people who don't want to be normal, don't want to be regular, don't embrace being regular, or just having like a regular life. Because I'm going to tell you, one thing that can make me scream out in terror, can give me hives, is living a regular life. Now, there's sometimes I just want to do regular stuff. That's because that's in between times I'm doing extraordinary stuff, and I just need some rest. And actually, that type of life is appealing to me at least once a year for like a day. And usually it just means I just need to go get some rest. Because I'm hard about I'm not good for taking vacations. That's one of my weaknesses, too much of a workaholic, right? But, if you a person, you want to do extraordinary, but if you around people who don't, it's going to be a problem. You're going to have to change your circle. Sometimes you got to leave people behind. You got to leave people behind. I mean, you can still love them, but just love them from a distance. Because it's like they're not doing you any good. They not helping you. Because when you're around, and that's when it comes to the importance of a community or a subculture. Because I talk about that a lot, but it's important to have a community of people on the same thing. Because one, they not only validate what you're trying to do, but they'll raise you up. They'll be the type to say, "Hey, you should check this out," right? They're the type. You're gonna see what they're doing. It's gonna raise you up. It's just like going from that losing team to that winning team. And I've seen that. I've seen that in different sports. You can get some guy, they just ordinary on some losing team, but they get up there to that winning team, and all of a sudden, boom. So everybody need to think that. And I know you like the people, you probably love the people in your circle, but then at the end of the day, you got to do what's true to yourself. At the end of the day, you just got to just say, you know what? I got to move on, and just gotta move on. This person, they stuck where they at. Boom, this ain't gonna work for me. So anyway, that's it for today, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.